Last week, I told you about what we did for Christmas and New Year's in Japan with my family, but now I will show you what we did between those two holidays and what interesting things you should do when you're spending your winter break in and around Tokyo. Mount Fuji is listed in the top 5 of things Japanese people are most proud of, and I totally understand why. Mount Fuji is such a beautiful mountain and nothing stands in its way, which makes it even more impressive. We decided to go on a one-day road trip to Yamanashi Prefecture where you can have the best views of Mount Fuji. We first explored the ice cave and wind cave created by Mount Fuji's eruptions and lava streams. We then spent the day looking for spots with the most amazing views of Mount Fuji, and I can proudly say that we found our two favorites, which are the view from Lake Kawaguchi and Asakura Shrine, where you have to climb hundreds of stairs before you can see this absolutely stunning view. With Mount Fuji in the background at night, which I really enjoyed, but it was so cold. So if you ever go, please bring an extra down jacket or two. We also had the most amazing time spending time together and enjoying Tokyo on many cultural excursions, eating, shopping, and strolling around. One of my favorites was the afternoon we spent with Takeru's mom, where we went to a Japanese-style tea house in the Hamarikyu gardens and spent some mommy chatting time whilst drinking delicious matcha tea. The tea house is located in the middle of a lake. Of course, we had to make time for some Instagram shots for my sister, since this place is so Instagrammable. I think the Hamarikyu gardens are one of my favorite gardens in Tokyo because they're Japanese-style gardens and they are surrounded by tall office buildings, which is a funny contrast with the park itself. Afterwards, we went to the Shinjuku governmental building to enjoy Tokyo's night view from the 39th floor. You can go for free and I totally recommend it because I think the view is nicer than the view from Tokyo Tower, which is slightly overpriced. Also, don't forget to visit Kamakura. It only takes about 1 hour to get there from Tokyo, and you can't leave Japan without a glimpse of the great Buddha and bamboo forests. It's always nice to sneak in a little cultural day trip to Kamakura when you're staying in Tokyo. Of course, a huge part of our days was filled with enjoying Japanese cuisine. My mother especially enjoyed Manju, which is a bun filled with sweet bean paste. I also recommend Tsurutontan, where you can eat the most delicious homemade udon served in the biggest bowls you've ever seen. I think they serve over 30 kinds of udon. It's one of my favorite places to go for noodles. I think one of my favorite days was the day we went to climb a mountain with my sister. About 70% of Japan is covered with mountains, so it's almost a must to visit the mountains when you're in Japan. We picked Tonotake in Kanagawa Prefecture because it's one of the mountains in the Tanzawa mountain range, which is the largest mountain range in Japan, and you can get the most beautiful view from Mount Fuji. I feel like I'm talking about Mount Fuji in every video, but it's just so stunning. And on top of that, it's only about 2 hours by train from Tokyo. I'll put directions in the description box on how to get there, and the starting point of our hiking trail was Yabitsu Toge. I'm going to be honest and say that we kind of had a hard time because it's not an easy trail. The stairs are endless and you have to cross several mountain peaks before you finally arrive at the highest peak, which is the summit of Mount Tonotake. But we were amazed by the beautiful nature around us on the way to the top, and of course we supported each other, which was well needed. But after we reached the top, the view was just too stunning to think about our hard time on the trail. It's so funny how I always forget about my hard time on the trail when reaching the summit. It's like I'm instantly ready to climb another mountain after I've reached the top. We decided to enjoy a nice relaxing picnic upon our arrival, and Takeda was able to use his new gas burner I gave him for Christmas for the first time, which he was so excited about. We went to Hakone on a one-day road trip, which is a town in Kanagawa Prefecture, famous for its hot springs and beautiful nature. Our first stop was Owakudani, a volcanic valley with active sulfur vents that are rising up from the mountains and hot springs. You can enjoy eggs boiled in hot water, which makes them turn black. We bought 5 eggs for 500 yen, and even though they smell like hot spring, they taste like normal eggs. We then headed to the Hakone Open Air Museum, which is a big open air museum with different art collections presented inside and outside. But the reason why it's so interesting is because there are a lot of funny attractions like a foot onsen, which I found such a nice idea because we were definitely tired from all the walking. We visited Hakone Shrine to pray for a safe trip back to Tokyo, and that was the end of our 5 days between Christmas and New Year's. We had such an amazing time with my family in Japan, and guiding them around wasn't only interesting for them, but also for me. Because even though Tokyo is a city I'm living in and spending most of my time at, it was a nice opportunity to rediscover Tokyo because my family would take pictures and point out things that I would just pass by since they don't really trigger my senses anymore the way they used to do when I was here for the first time. I think they made me realize that there is still so much to explore and discover even within Tokyo, which I hope to do even more in 2018.